Hello, hello, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Podcast. I'm your host, John Harris, and today on Rock and Roll Podcast, we have BALA, and they have a new album called Maleza, which is released on May 14th via Century Media Records. Right now, I'm being joined by Anxela to share some more information about this release and what the ladies have got going on. So, Anxela, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. I'm really happy to be here.
Absolutely. And the cool thing is you look exactly like you do in the music videos. So this is cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Great.
Because that doesn't always happen. I'm like, is that really the same person? Like, yeah, I had makeup on or I did, whatever. But
No, we don't really like makeup or strange clothing. We always play live in the same way that we are dressed on a Sunday morning or a Monday morning.
Yeah. That's cool. Now, I guess my question about that is, I've got a couple of questions, because you mentioned playing live, which I imagine has not happened for a while.
Not really, unfortunately.
Yeah. Your last show, were you guys testing out new material at your last show that's now showing up on this album?
Yeah, our last show was in November here in the Basque Country, north of Spain. And this was our first show with this new situation, face mask, everyone was sit down and with a distance from each other, and it was really strange, but we really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was strange because we didn't know if we were going to enjoy, because our music is to jump and to shout and scream and I don't know. So it was a bit strange, but we really enjoyed it. And yes, we played some of the new songs, and we had a really good feedback. It was incredible. We were really looking forward to play live again, so we really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, it's probably, I don't know, is it easier because you're just a two-piece to play a show in the middle of the pandemic?
Yes. Everything is easier being just two. The only disadvantage is when I say yes and she says no, and we have nobody else to say, okay, yes or no. But no, everything is cool being just two people. Everything is easier for sure. The problem is that we live in different cities. We live in the same area, but different cities. So during the pandemic, we couldn't even rehearse or anything. We couldn't move to see each other, so it was a bit hard.
Yeah. How did you guys end up recording the album then?
No, the album was recorded. We recorded it in November 2019.
Oh, okay.
And we had to wait because it didn't make sense to release the album without playing live. Because normally when we release an album, we always like to play and to announce a big tour, and we couldn't do that. So we said, okay, we have to wait, and we moved the releasing date like 5 times maybe. Yeah. And finally we say, okay, we can't wait more. It's going to be released in May, and yeah, let's see what happens with the show. We are going to play this year as much as we can, which is not going to happen a lot, really. But yeah, we think the big year is going to be the next one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, probably.
I'm starting to see some tour dates popping up for 2022, and I find that more reasonable or feasible than some bands who are trying to sell some tour dates happening next month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
Let's see what happens. But yeah, I think we have to wait a bit.
Yeah, exactly. How is the situation in the Basque Country? Are you guys heavily affected by the pandemic?
We live in Galicia, actually, but yeah, it's pretty close to the Basque Country. We are also in the north. This is northwest, and yes, things are starting to change a little bit. But I mean, the bars close at 11 at night. We have to be at home after that hour. So yeah, this is really, really, really strange. Things are starting to change. You can see some some shows now, but everything was I don't know, was crazy, and all shows were cancelled, and were moving all the time. So yeah.
Wow.
I think we can see the light now a bit, but yes, it's not as bad as last year, of course, because I think that is impossible. but yeah, we have to wait a bit more.
You never know. Where I'm at, it is definitely worse than last year.
Oh.
Yeah, we are reaching our highest numbers we've ever reached, and statistically, where I live, in a province called Alberta, Canada, right now we are the number 1 per capita out of all of North America, and I think number 2 to India. So,
oh, fuck.
Yeah. Whereas last year it was like, guys, if we just take a time out, we can bury this thing in the ground and we'll be done with it. But you know, people, they didn't want to do that. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. All right. I'm looking up Galicia on Wikipedia right now because I was unaware.
This is in the top of Portugal. This is northwest. That corner over there.
Okay. All right. Looks fascinating. Os Pinos, the pine trees.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really beautiful.
Yeah.
We are surrounded by the sea. Yeah, we love where we live. This is amazing.
Yeah. Okay, now, something you mentioned was we have a couple of albums here, 2015, 2017. Obviously, it makes sense then 2 years later, you're working on the next album released 2019. With the third album, though, with Maleza, what were you guys looking to do differently from, say, Human Flesh and Lume?
Okay. I think Human Flesh was like an experiment because we were playing together for like 2 months when this album came out. We were like, okay, let's do this song and let's record them. You know, we were so excited. We were a new band and new stuff, so let's record it. And it was recorded live. We were playing together, drums and guitar were recorded live, and then the vocals. And I don't think it really represents us because we didn't know what we wanted to do. We were trying to find what we wanted to be as a band. So yeah, I think Lume represents has our personality. And we changed the language too, because Human Flesh was in English. We don't really know why. That's just because we were trying things, and let's see what happens with these songs. Let's do them in English. And this album was sold out in like 3 or 4 months, and we were so shocked with that. We were like, oh my god, yeah, people like it. Wow, perfect. But then when we started to work on the next songs for Lume, we said, okay, we need to change the language because, I don't know, it's more honest to me to sing in our language. I don't think that English is like the universal language for rock and roll. I think you can make really good songs in other languages. And also it's important because when we play here in Spain, people didn't sing along these English songs. But when we changed the language, everyone was singing along during the shows, and we were like, oh, okay, that's it. That's the way we have to do this. And yeah, we changed the language. And also Lume is like much heavier than the previous one. It's like more raw, intense, and energetic probably. And Maleza is similar to Lume, but it has also some new things. For example, there's a bass in 3 of the songs. Pony Buitrago from Nashville Pussy plays bass in 3 songs. Mm-hmm. And also we play with the vocals because V and me, we have like really different voices, really different vocals, and we like to play with that, which we didn't do in the previous albums. And yeah, what else? I don't know. These are probably the biggest differences. I think that this last one, Maleza, is the the heaviest of the three albums. I love how it sounds.
Mm-hmm. It sounds dirty and nasty and filthy and disgusting in all the right ways.
That's perfect. That's what I wanted to hear.
Like you guys mic'd up a chainsaw through a broken amp. It's perfect.
Yes, that's it.
Well, and especially for a duo where it's just guitar and drums and the record comes out blasting at me with a wall of sound. Do you mind going into the production of the album? How did you guys do that? Especially as a guitar player, how did you get that sound? If I were to see you live, how do you get that sound?
We always try to do on our albums what we are going to do in our shows. It's really interesting to experiment when you are recording an album, but we don't really want to introduce elements that we are not going to have then in our shows. So when I play live, I have my guitar amp and also my bass amp. I play with the two of them at the same time normally. I sometimes change from one to the other, but normally I play with the two of them at the same time. So yes, I think you can recognize the sound of the album when we play live because of that. There are just two elements with those two amps and these energetic drums, and we two screaming. So yeah, that's what we want to show, what we want to transmit. Nothing else, no tricks.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Throwing a bass amp in there. Do you have any effect pedals that you use, like I don't know, like an HM2 or something? I mean, it just sounds nasty.
The pedals that I always use, it's a really, really heavy fuzz, which is made by a friend of mine. He makes pedals, and I said, okay, give me the heaviest you have, and I love this pedal. I am playing with this one I have been playing with it like for 5 years, more or less, and I don't want to change it. Mm-hmm. And also I have I can't say the word in English, maybe an octavator, is that right?
Yeah.
Octavator?
Yeah,
which plays like an octave up or down.
Yep.
So yeah, so to have like a bass also with the guitar. And yeah, some delay sometimes in some songs, and that's it. Just 4 or 5 pedals, no more.
Yeah. Now, something else you mentioned was adding a bass guitar on a few tracks on the album. I guess just why?
Yes, we love Bonnie Buitrago. We love how she plays, and we became friends when we played in Australia. We played in Melbourne at this festival called Cherry Rock, and they were playing Nashville Pussy, also Brand Bjork, The Dwarfs, and many, many bands, which we love. And we became good friends, as I said. And when we played in the States 3 years ago in California, she came to the shows. And we said, okay, we could maybe do something together for the next album. And I sent her the first songs, and she said, okay, please let me introduce a bass in that songs. It was going to be just one song, but they were finally 3 because she was really into it, and of course we love her work, and she wanted to respect the guitar. Because of the reason I told you before, because I hope we can play live with her someday, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Right.
So she wanted to respect the line of the guitar and the sound of the guitar, and I think it's really cool because it adds this bass sound, but you can feel like it's really similar to the guitar.
Yeah. Cool. This album, Maleza, does it have a theme to it?
Like a concept, you mean?
Could be a concept. Concept can be pretty heavy, like an actual storyline, or it could be something even just loosely holding the record together.
Yeah. Some of the songs are connected to the others. but like the general theme of the album is lume means fire in Galician language, and this was our second album. Everything is burned. This is like an apocalyptic album or something like that. The final song in Lume is like really dark. And Maleza, I don't know if you know the meaning of this word. It's like the weed, not the weed you smoke, the other weed, like the plants that grow up in any corner where there's no light, there's nothing, and then you can see a plant growing and some flowers blooming. And this is like an act of resistance, something like that. Mm-hmm. When you think there's nothing there, there's no light, then a plant comes out. This is the Maleza. So this has like an optimistic message, something like that. Okay, after the fire where everything is destroyed, there are some plants and there's some life coming. And yes, this album is also an angry album for sure, a furious album, but it has this optimistic message. Like there can be life after the darkness, something like that.
Cool, I dig it. Yeah, I looked up the word on Google, Maleza, and in Spanish it means undergrowth, but in Galician it means weeds. And what's kind of interesting is the way that you would describe the kind of weeds that they are is kind of similar to that undergrowth as well. Like you lift up a rock or something and there's...
Exactly. Yeah. That's it. You don't expect to be that there, and then you find flowers and plants.
Kind of like my email. I wasn't expecting to find BALA there, but then BALA came into my email and I was like, whoa, what is this? Girls with chainsaws. Cool. Were you guys already signed to Century Media, or did you use this album to get signed to Century Media?
We started to work with another... we were working with a smaller office here in Galicia. With them, we released our second album. And when the band started to grow up, we started to play all around the world. They said, like, okay, girls, you have to maybe grow up a little bit and find a bigger office, or I don't know. And this was amazing. And we started to work with this office called Holy Cuervo in Spain, with bands such as Tundra or Anxela Baltar, which are really big bands here. Yep. And when we started to work with them, we were like, okay, the priority was to find a big label for this third album. Right. And we had some other options. We were having some other conversations, but the best proposal we had was this one from Century Media. We read it and we read the contract and we were, okay, we like this, and we finally signed with them, which is amazing. If you tell me this like 5 years ago, I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, you were just getting your brand new fuzz pedal 5 years ago.
And that's it, exactly.
That's right. Well, if you know Guillermo of Anxela Baltar, then please say hi to Guillermo.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I will.
Sweet. That pedal, does he sell them, like, for the gear nerds that are listening in right now that are like, I want that fuzz pedal? Is there like a website they can go to?
Yes. This is called, let me check, because this is a bit strange name, but this pedal is amazing, so you need to find it.
Because I'll post it on the show notes.
Can you see the name? Barullo FX.
Barullo OFX. Okay.
Yeah. .com.
.com. Perfect. We're going to take a look for all the gear nerds listening in, especially those fuzz pedals.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, because people get bored of the big muff, you know?
Yeah, I love the big muff, but it was not enough for BALA. But I love it. It's one of my favorite pedals. But I actually have two big muffs. But I was like, okay, I want something else. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Yeah, that's it.
A little bit moss. Okay, beautiful. We chatted about playing shows in a pandemic, which was cool. I think you guys are actually the first band I've chatted with who's outside of Australia, because Australia is a different story. They're like back to normal. But someone in Europe who's like played at a show and everybody's sitting down. It's weird, but you did it and that's cool. The new album, what went into the new album and adding a bass guitar and a few tracks. We chatted about the effect pedals. We chatted about Galician culture a little bit. How you guys have pine trees, and I would probably feel at home there because of the pine trees and the sea. It remind me of Vancouver, Canada.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. I would love to go to Canada.
beautiful.
I really want.
Yeah, it'd be great to have you on. We chatted about Guillermo over at Anxela Baltar. Cool dude, Doug, chatting with Guillermo, and then signing to Century Media. And what else did we chat about? We chatted about a lot of stuff. Three music videos that are currently available that will be on the show notes: Agitar, Mi Orden, and Hoy No.
And actually, there are 4. There's X too.
Oh.
X.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna have to go add that guy. And you guys are stealing a car in one of these. I think it Mi Orden. Yeah.
Hoy No. The second single. Hoy No. Yes.
That's
a pretty good car. We want this. We would love to go on tour with this car.
Yeah. And then you guys stole it and made a music video out of it, and there we go.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So yeah, I've got the music video for X. I'm going to go ahead and post that on the show notes as well. And there's also a live at Estudo Bonobo.
Yes.
Okay.
I think this was recorded by the end of last year, and this is pretty cool. This is the place where we rehearse.
Okay.
Which is also a recording studio, so we wanted to record this rehearsal.
Yeah, because you had mentioned that you guys are in different cities. Yeah. So that allows you guys to meet somewhere to get together and do your thing.
Yes, this is pretty difficult sometimes, but what we do is like we want to I don't know the word in English for this, to aprovechar el tiempo mejor.
Make the best use of your time?
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Yeah.
We could maybe rehearse like 4 days a month, like 3 hours per day, but we sometimes do just one day, but the full day. Morning, evening, and night, everything in just a weekend. So this is pretty intense, and we work a lot, because it is great to play together. We understand each other really, really good. It's like if I knew what she's thinking, the same the other way, and we make songs really, really fast. So playing together is great, and rehearsing together is great. And when we are together for a weekend, we can make maybe like a new album in just one weekend. It's great.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, Anxela, thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast today.
Thank you, John. It was a pleasure. Nice to meet you, and I hope we can see live someday.
Mm-hmm.